Hello and welcome to Luxe Life Discovered. I'm Rick Steiner, the host, and today my co-host is Shannon Richmond of the Panama City Beach Chamber of Commerce. Shannon, we're glad you're here
Thank
again.
you for having me. I appreciate it.
Always great to have you here. Our guest today is Jason Ellis of Jason Ellis Photo and out in LA. So Jason, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Rick. It's great being with you.
Well, thanks. Shannon, I met Jason. It's been oh gosh, I don't know how many years ago now, but there was a guy that I represented that Jason shot, and we went out to LA. And Jason is one of the most well-known fitness photographers in I would say the world, not just the U.S. but the world. And so we went out and shot with him, and I met Jason. And I'd always have been impressed with his work in LA.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'd always been impressed with his work, but he's a genuine person and just really a good guy. So, Jason, thanks for the time that we spent out in LA several years ago. But it's been good to follow you and to see your continued success.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been a great journey, and my photography career, as many people may not know, I've photographed over 500 magazine covers like Muscle and Fitness, Men's Health, Women's Health, all those big fitness magazines that you see as you're checking out of the newsstand or checking out the grocery store. So that's kind of my initial claim to fame, and that's how I was hired here by Rick.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
500? How long have you been doing this?
Over 30 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with the 500 covers, how do you select? Because I mean, there are a lot of great looking, men and women and physiques in the industry. And so how is that final determination made to for the cover?
Well, it's a combination of factors. Initially it was a lot of celebrities that would always get chosen, but then as the magazine world started to open up, they actually allowed regular, I guess what you'd say, regular fitness models.
Right.
And so usually it was people that had some level of achievement, or they have some movie coming out, or they have something to promote. That's oftentimes how you see, whether it's Mark Wahlberg or The Rock, how you see them on magazines all the time. It's usually to promote something. However, the vast majority of the covers that I've shot have been a lot of models that are just fantastic fitness models that fit the look and have a lot to offer the readers and the subscribers to that magazine.
Right. And then, of course, when you're dealing with different countries, that goes to their interests and that type thing as well. Um, so you're responsible for launching some careers of the fitness models. It's not just all well-known people that, you've shot celebrities and that type of thing. You've launched the careers for several people in the fitness industry.
I would say that that's true. There's a lot of people that once I've done a photo shoot with them, within 6 months after those pictures circulate, it definitely has helped out their career quite substantially.
Wow.
I've seen that time and time again. So yeah, that's true.
So do you travel a lot?
I do. And I've traveled around the world multiple times, doing photo shoots, and not a lot in the last couple of years because of obviously COVID and everything. However, things are opening back up and I am traveling now. So yeah.
What's the most interesting shoot you've
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
done? What is the most interesting shoot that you've done?
One of the most interesting shoots I've done was probably one with, Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant, and Karl Malone. It was when they were all three on the Lakers at the same time, and that was shot at LA South. It's this fitness facility where the Lakers officially do their training practice. And I was hired to do that photo shoot by Max Muscle, and it was quite an experience.
Oh,
so
I
really
bet.
enjoyed that. Yeah.
How cool is that?
Yeah, that would be unreal.
I would love that.
Well, and over the years, you've built the reputation to be the king of covers, but also just the best in the fitness industry as far as photographers go. And it's not just that he shoots all these well-built guys. Jason can compete with these guys.
Oh.
And he doesn't ever talk about that much, but
that's a nice little secret.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been very interested in fitness since I was a kid, and 12 years old really kind of started working out. And yeah, it's always been an extreme passion of mine, getting in good shape, and then also photography. And that's really how those things came together. and that's how I made a career out of it. And yeah, so recently, a couple years back here, I just got a cover of Men's Fitness. So that was
You
my first
you got a
cover.
cover? You were on the cover?
I did.
Oh,
I did.
congratulations. That's so
I
cool.
know, yeah.
Do you have a copy?
I don't, but I've seen his copy though. So, oh, he
I do
just
have a
happens to
copy.
have
Oh,
one. Yeah.
all
I
right.
just so happen to have a copy.
Okay.
Let me grab it here. Actually, I do just happen. I brought one back to my mom recently. Just went back to visit her. So here you go.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Cover of Men's Fitness. So yeah, that was a real treat.
So
Very proud of that.
So who did the video or the shooting of photography for you on the cover?
Well, officially, I got credited for it. I had some
Okay.
assistants setting it all up, but since I kind of know the format and everything, I had everything set up, and then
Yeah.
had somebody take the picture. So
That's
yeah.
awesome. That's so
Yeah.
cool.
I know. I think that's an honor because
Mhm.
you could be on the other side of the camera and never have to worry about that. But it takes a lot of discipline to have that
Yeah.
shape. I'm sucking my gut in now as we're talking because I don't have that discipline
I'm
lately.
going to sit up a
So
little
I know,
straighter.
yeah. But so it's interesting to see your background. I'm looking at your background with the King of Cover sign, the backdrop,
Oh
and
yeah.
you know, I like that. And the King's
Thank
chair.
you.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I just had a few of these things kind of made. I was going to do like a little podcast. This was even before podcasts were popular. I had a lot of just like these signs and so forth made, but yeah, podcasts have really become such a big thing recently. So
True.
luckily, I just kind of had it.
That's awesome.
And
Yeah,
tell
I had
us a little.
video web on my website long ago. I think like 2002, 2000. It was really early when you could first even get video onto a website. I was like one of the very first people, I think, to ever have like video on their website. So
Right.
I've always been an early adopter on things like that.
That's great.
We need to go look that up.
We will. We
Uh-huh.
will. So tell us about your podcast that you host.
Well, it's a new podcast that my friend and I are starting, and it's called the Crazy Ones Podcast. And essentially, it's people that have achieved great success, and it's based on Steve Jobs, the Crazy Ones. If you've seen that commercial,
Right.
where he talks about, there's Einstein, all these people who they think outside the box, and people think they're crazy until they achieve their, major success, and then everybody goes, okay, maybe you weren't so crazy after all. So.
Right.
Yeah, so that's essentially what it's based on. And we've interviewed a few people already, and we're going to be launching it here in the next month or two. So you'll see it out there.
Oh, I can't wait to see.
That will
That'd
be
be
interesting.
cool.
Because, from the time that we've known each other, I'm one of those people that believe that if you don't try to discover your own potential, you'll never succeed. Because, and we've talked about this before too. I know so many people, and you do too, that want to reach the level that someone else has already set. And they feel like if they can reach that level, then they've succeeded. But in so many cases like that, that person may not have the same work ethic, the same passion, the same, just the guts to go for it. So you're selling yourself short when you do that.
I agree. Yeah, I think it's a constant process of reinvention, especially now with things changing so quickly. And with AI opening up, essentially it has hypothesis generation. You can ask it intelligent questions. It comes back with intelligent answers. And that's really going to change the world. This year in particular is going to be unlike any that we've seen before. I think that technology has expanded so rapidly just recently. It's kind of this intelligence explosion, as it's called. So
Right.
Get ready for 2023.
I know it's here whether we're ready or not, and we have to either compete, step up and stay with the time, or you get lost in the process. So yeah,
It's very true.
So what big projects do you have coming up for 23 and even 24? I know you're always planning ahead, and so
yeah. So the big movie that I have coming out, Aging Evolution, starring Mark Cuban and Lou Ferrigno, that's going to be coming out shortly. The big news on that is I just partnered with Generation Iron, and they're going to be distributing the film. So, they had the #1 documentary. It was 2013 when Generation Iron first came out.
Right.
It's looking for somebody who could really push it out there and get mass distribution. And I think they're just the right partner.
Wow.
Oh, that'd be great. Goodness.
So that's breaking news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heard it here
Yes.
first. Yeah.
Good. Very good.
So your other movie series or video series with the what was it called? Remind me of that one. With the
Well, I have a new film, a feature film that I'm working on. It's in pre-production. It's called Sergeant Lionheart, and that stars C.T. Fletcher and a whole host of other really big YouTube stars and other fitness stars who have a collective social media of over 100 million. So that's
Wow.
going to really be, yeah, it has that captive audience already built in to the cast. So essentially, that's what you really, really want when you create any type of movie, is you want a lot of eyeballs that you know are guaranteed to watch it. So that's what I have set up
yeah.
happening
Awesome.
now.
So
Yeah.
with your success, like how do you determine, because I know you get a lot of people that want to shoot and you can't shoot everybody that contacts you that's interested. How do you
Yeah.
narrow down the people that you work with?
Well, oftentimes if it's guaranteed for a magazine cover, obviously some of those assignments I'll take from certain magazines. And then if people are referred to me by certain friends or other fitness models, that often will convince me to want to shoot with them.
Right.
So that's essentially it. Yeah.
Well, good. Okay. Yeah. Because I know that would be you'd have to have somebody to kind of monitor all your emails and see which ones, if
Pick me,
Right,
do this,
right.
do yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot to filter through with all the different messages that we all get through WhatsApp and emails and DMs. It's ridiculous. So
exactly.
yeah,
So are you still doing your online magazine?
I am, but it's kind of on pause because my number one priority right now is getting that Mark Cuban movie out, the
Sure.
Aging Evolution movie. So that's my number one priority, and so that's really consuming most of the bandwidth right now.
Okay. Yeah. And when did you say that will be launched?
I would say 2 months. It should be out on a major streaming platform like Amazon or Netflix.
Okay. Excellent.
Ooh.
We'll definitely be watching
Yeah.
for that. So when you unwind in your spare time, which you don't have a lot of, how do you unwind? How do you become centered again? And
Yeah, well, we all know I like cigars, and cigars are one of the things, Manny Koshman and he started a cigar lounge, a private cigar lounge in Newport Beach. And essentially it's that time to sit back, relax, reflect, and it's really kind of a form of meditation. So that's really the way that I use to center myself, and it really works out well.
okay.
Well, Luke Bryan started a cigar place here, so you just come on over and relax.
Oh, really?
Yep. Now we
Yeah.
gave you an excuse. What is the one
Which
called?
is that?
What
The
is it?
store things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure Things, and it's at the Hub on 30A.
Okay.
Yep.
I'd love that. That'd be
Right?
great. Cigars have really made a real big impact recently. Andrew Tate being so successful with his podcast and all of that stuff, and being a big cigar smoker. It's kind of funny how that's really infiltrated our society recently.
That's
Yep,
true.
it
In
is.
fact, Riley Clark, his manager of his cigar
Uh-huh.
place here, they have started a podcast.
Oh,
So I may have to put you guys in touch with each other because that would be a kind of a cool connection.
that would be.
So,
That would be great.
and we've given Sure Things a free plug today. So hey,
I'll talk to them later.
No.
But I forgot to mention with the movie Aging Evolution, it's all about staying youthful as you get older. So it's an anti-aging type of documentary. And I think it's so important because there's over 78 million Americans over the age of 55. And so all of them want to know how to stay youthful, look better, be functional. And this movie really addresses that. And we got 75-year-old lady on national television doing 20 pull-ups. And so it's really incredible. So that's something that you guys will want
Wow.
to check out
Wow.
when it comes out. Aging Evolution.
All right, and that brought up a good point. What's your oldest model that you've had on a fitness cover?
I'm thinking, I photographed Jeff Life, who's a famous doctor and I guess you would call him a fitness model, but he was about 80 years old, and he ended up on, it was a book and I think a magazine as well. It's been a long time, but I don't know if it got a magazine cover, but it was on a book cover. So
That's
80
pretty
years
cool.
old
Yeah,
and a fitness
his
model.
name's Dr. Life.
that's
Wow.
unreal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a new world we're living in.
Goals,
You're
Rick.
going to
Right.
be shocked
Goals.
when you see this movie, how good people look. Yeah.
How good they do what? How good the people eat?
You're just going to be shocked how good they look
Uh-huh.
and how young they look and how functional they are and what they're capable of. It's really, I liken it to Roger Bannister, who was famous for running the 4-minute mile, the first human ever to do
Yeah.
that. And so when we as humans see another person a decade or 2 or 3 older than us do something far beyond what we can do now, it really inspires us and shows us that it's possible. And so that's really inspirational. And that's really what I want with the film, is for people to break off the limits of what they think is possible and really go for it and really just live the best, most healthy, productive life they can.
Oh, I'm so excited.
I know it
I'm
is.
ready.
Well, I'm going to share something with you that I've not told you yet, but and
Let's
so
hear
I'm
it.
going to put this as like I have to do this now, but I'll be 65 on July 31st of 2024, and
Oh, wow.
on my
Okay.
65th birthday, you and I are shooting together.
Oh, you better put that on your
Awesome.
calendar.
Yeah, so
Awesome.
I will follow up with that. Now I have to follow through and do everything. So,
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Jason's, I mean,
Well,
just
he
to
might not have
see-
time for you. He's
Well,
very
he may
busy.
not. Well, that's why I wanted to put my time in now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so make sure he has time. But no, Jason
smart.
is able to make everyone feel so comfortable in the shoot, and it's just an ability he has to bring out the best, you know, in a person.
That's why he gets covers.
Yeah.
That's right.
Uh-huh.
No, it's just, yeah, it is part being a psychologist when you're doing photography. But, also just when you've been doing it so long and you've worked with so many people, it does come very naturally just to make people feel comfortable.
All right, not a name necessarily, but has there been a situation where you've been in a shoot and it's totally impossible to do?
Not really.
He's a
Oh, that's
No,
good.
professional,
because
Rick.
I've trained myself that no matter what, it's almost like the military. Whatever happens, you turn lemons into lemonade. You figure out a way to work with it. So let's say it's an important shoot and it starts raining, right? And you're outside and woman's makeup's, well, you keep shooting and you make the photo shoot work with the elements. So that's one of the secrets to
Well, there you go.
photo shoots
Uh-huh.
end with life, I might add.
Right. I was thinking
Yeah.
more like attitude. You know how egos are so
Oh,
hard to deal with sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, I've worked with that, but again, I've just learned to work with everybody and all the different attitudes. However, I think with shooting a feature film, which is much more complex and money intensive and lots of different people on the set, I do suspect that will bring about many more interesting stories.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm
oh, we
sure.
have to have him back to hear about it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, so how did this idea for the documentary, how did that evolve? Were you just
Well, yeah, I created another documentary before this that was on Amazon Prime. It was called Growing Young, and that did really well. That had Tony Horton in it and about 8 other doctors, including the doctor I told you about, Dr. Life. And so that's the first documentary I made on anti-aging. And then the producer of this new documentary got in touch with me and he said, Jason, I want you to direct this new documentary. It's kind of a similar theme as your documentary, but we got a whole new cast of characters and he just wanted to put a whole new spin on it. So that's what we did.
wow?
Hey.
I just think that's so interesting because you're dealing with areas that, we can sit here and listen to you and be amazed by it. And you're bringing that to us where we can actually see it and motivate us. So that's pretty cool.
Yes, thank you. I have a feeling it's going to be the #1 documentary of 2023.
Put it out there. Call it out.
That's right.
That's right.
Well,
Speak
good.
it
So
into
Tony Horton,
existence.
That's
tell
right.
people if I'm they don't know who Tony Horton is, tell them who he is. Because he was also on one
Everybody,
of your covers at 50.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. Tony Horton, everybody knows him because at one point in time, he was the #1 most visible person on television because of his P90X commercials. Most people have heard
Oh
of the
yeah,
Yeah.
P90X
yeah.
exercise program. Even if you don't want to hear about it,
You
it's
still
like the My
do.
Pillow guy. Those commercials are everywhere. Yeah. So that's who Tony Horton is. He's amazing. He's super funny, super charismatic, and really smart, and just a nice, genuine guy.
And he was he was on a fitness cover at age 50, right? Am I right? I may be wrong on the age, but
I think he's now in his 60s.
is he really? Wow. Okay. Yeah. And still
Yeah,
looks great. So yeah.
he does.
Well, good. So like in the next 6 months, where does your travel take you?
The next 6 months, I've got a few different travels that I'm doing, a few different places, some for vacation. I go to Aspen every year to kind of, well, first of all, to go skiing and enjoy the elements there, but also to kind of reflect on my year, set up my goals, work on my goals, work on my life. And so that's the first travel that's happening here in a couple of weeks. And then I'm going to be traveling between here, Arizona, and Las Vegas, working on Sergeant Lionheart, the film that I'm creating. So that's going to take up a lot of my time.
Well, sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Are you living vicariously through him now?
oh, I'd like to. Yeah.
Okay.
Good gracious. He's got the life. Goodness.
Yeah.
So yeah. It always has just interesting people, interesting concepts. And
And the best thing is he's been in the spot of being on the cover, so he knows how those people feel, and he makes it comfortable and easy and fun.
well, he challenged them. I mean,
I
good
like
gracious,
it.
you look at his cover and it's
Yeah.
like somebody wants to be the cover, and you're like, seriously? At 20 and you don't look like this? Why bother? No, I'm just kidding. So, well,
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
what's that? I'm sorry.
Oh, I just thank you. I appreciate that.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, it is motivating because
Yeah.
we've seen like you're talking about the growing younger. We've seen a lot of older people, and I say older. Sometimes I still think I'm middle aged. Well, I'm past middle age. It's hard to
We
like.
won't tell.
I know, but yeah, but you're seeing more 50s and 50-year-old range, especially that are being in some of the best shape that in their 20s they never look like that. And that's what's
Exactly.
encouraging to see.
Exactly. With this proliferation of information through social media, with diet, exercise, and mindset, it's really easy now to learn very rapidly how to exercise, exactly how to eat, exactly how to set up your mind and have your mind correct in approaching all of this. And because of that, the learning curve is so quick and easy that there are a lot of people at the gyms that are 50 years old and above, and it is shocking how many there are now compared to 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Right.
In terms of over 50 and in really great shape, both
Yep.
men and women.
Yep.
And I think that
We
trend,
got work to do.
yeah, that we do. I think that trend is just going to continue as well
Yeah.
because a lot of your people that are my age, especially, it's more of a challenge when you get older because, I went into the gym. I've been out for a while and went in not so long ago, and the pin slipped when I was doing cable rows, and so as soon as it happened, like I'm pulling back and the weight stack just drops and you hear this loud noise, and it's like all in a split second. You see the pin fly through the air, and next thing you know, it's like I'm fixing to be bouncing across this floor. And so I'm already trying to prepare for the embarrassment of like scooting on my butt, so hurt my
Yeah.
pride more than anything else. But, you get back up, you finish, and you just stay with it. So,
Absolutely. Those types of things happen to everybody at some point or another. So,
yeah, it just
yeah.
seems more obvious when it's you, though. So it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like, okay, great. Can we just walk out the door? Just leave it alone.
So
but-
if you had advice for somebody for the new year, for 2023, what's the first healthy thing you would tell them to do?
The first healthy thing I would tell them to do for the new year, I think one, they should get a mental picture of how they want to look and also how they want to feel, what they want to improve. And then I would write that down. I would write down your top 3 fitness goals. And then I'd write down 7 steps under each of those fitness goals and put a date to when you want to accomplish the
Hold
top 3
yourself
goals.
accountable.
That, yeah, I think that is most likely to result in getting the results of getting in the best shape of your life.
I like it. Write it down and hold you to it.
So what are your personal goals? What's like your top 3 personal goals? I mean, this.
The number one for sure. Yeah. So, I mean, as we know, there's multiple areas of life. You know, there's finance, there's fitness, there's family, faith, and fun. 5 F's.
Right.
And, you know, I'll share a few of them with you. So obviously for career, what I'd like to do is get this film out and distributed and to become the #1 documentary of 2023. So I'm already actively working on that. I've got a heck of a lot more than 7
Check.
steps to do that. But so also I'm looking to get my abs back into the top condition that they were in just when you saw on the cover there just a year or 2 ago. So I'm working on that as well. So those are, you know, a couple of the top goals I'm working on, and I'm already making good progress on it. So
Well, great.
I feel good.
What would you tell someone that says, okay, I've never had those abs, I can't do it, I'm too old? What's your advice to them?
Number 1, find a mentor, preferably somebody who's at your age or maybe even a little older. And then number 2, take on the new identity. Like when I got in the best shape of my life, I said, I'm going to be Mr. Abs. And I took on that identity. And it really, you know, Tony Robbins, I'm a big believer in him and everything that he talks about. And as humans, we act out of our belief of our own identity. So that's number 1 thing is I would say, take on the identity of the person that you want to become and give yourself a nickname. You know, so for a lot of women, it's like, I want to get my sexy back. You know, like that's one of the things that is kind of like the catchphrase for women. And so anyway, that's just a little advice there on what I'd recommend.
I like that.
Yeah.
So are there any products or merchandise that you would recommend?
Wow, this is a real opportunity to plug some major, you know, the number 1 thing is the documentary that I'm creating, Aging Evolution, really is all of the best information that you'll need to know to get in the best shape of your life. It covers the major 3 areas: diet, exercise, and mindset. And surprisingly, mindset, that's really the most important thing because that runs the entire show. Yeah. And once you get your mind right, everything follows. But it's kind of like a combination lock. You have to get everything just right, otherwise it doesn't work. You can have like 3 of the little locks just right, but the 4th one's off, and that's what's holding you up. So I think that you just have to be really meticulous, and this documentary really shows, you know, the whole combination, and so you'll unlock your best fitness.
So let me ask you this, since it is a new year, how do you feel about resolutions? Do you think they work, or you just have to?
I do. I believe there's a combination. There's some people who say, you know, don't do the whole like once a year resolution. But I think as a person who's always upgrading their plans and goals, I think that it's good to do that systematically all throughout the year. I usually like 6 months in advance. I think it's long enough to achieve something, but it's not so short term that it stresses you out trying to accomplish the whole world within a month. And so I really like the whole, you know, resolutions. And there is something, I think we all feel that need to kind of start new after the first of the year in many areas of life. So I think it is congruent with how we all naturally work, I believe.
So as Rick said, that we want to have you back. So Rick and I are going to make some goals. We're going to write those things down, and then he's going to hold us accountable.
Right.
There you go.
Yes. Don't forget the action steps, 7 action steps.
Got it.
And date.
You got that?
Well, the dates are huge because it's the accountability to yourself, because honestly, it's easier to be accountable to someone else. And sometimes because you try to do so much for everybody else that you kind of put yourself on the back burner sometimes.
Every time.
And
Yep.
Yes.
I'm
I like
notorious
that.
for
Okay,
that.
we're
Yeah.
on it.
Well, July 31st, 2024. I mean, we're going to make it happen. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
I look forward to it.
Me too.
so got a lot of work to do between now. I figure it gives me a year and a half. So, my mindset has to be where it should be in order for this to take place. So, we'll make it happen.
That's right. And Shannon, are you going to come on the photo shoot too?
Oh yeah. I'm his
Right.
co-host all the time.
We may have to just bring the whole crew and do like a podcast, live podcast after the photo shoot.
Yeah, I'd
That
love
would be
that.
great.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Well, good deal. Well, Jason, I appreciate you taking the time. I've always had great respect for you, and it's grown over the years because of your talent, but not just your talent, but because of who you are as a person and what you stand for. And you put your, as we say in the South, you walk your talk, and that's
Thank
huge.
you. I appreciate that, Rick. Thank you.
So, all right, before we go, do you want to share your contact information? I mentioned the 2 films again, and that way people can be watching out for them in 2023.
Yeah, sure. I have a website, jasonellisphotography.com. And then also on Instagram, it's Jason Ellis Photo. And the films that are coming out, Aging Evolution, starring Mark Cuban, Lou Ferrigno, and a whole host of other celebrities and fitness celebrities. So, and then Sergeant Lionheart, starring C.T. Fletcher. So it's going to be a really action-packed feature film. So keep your eye out for those.
Awesome. Thanks again for your time. We appreciate it very much.
Nice meeting you.
welcome.
I can't wait to see what the future brings for you.
Thank you, Shannon.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
All right, and guys, thank you for watching today. That concludes another episode of Luxe Life Discovered. We hope you'll stay tuned for the next episode, and we look forward to seeing you then. Thank you.
Check out Luxe Life Discovered on Facebook and Instagram and on 30a.tv. See you next time on Luxe Life Discovered.